Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts back once again. Another reaction for guys. We have the third episode of The Last of Us. It is here. Been patient waiting for the past 10 minutes or so for this episode to drop. I'm kind of hoping at times on HBO Max they'll drop it a few minutes early because sometimes they did it for House of the Dragon, but it's okay. It's here right on time, and I'm excited. People are saying this is the best episode of the show because people who got access to it early, they got access to all screeners. They said the third episode is either one of their favorites or their favorites. People have been hyping this up saying it's really good, and I'm loving the show so far. And the ending of last week's episode, of course, Tess sacrificing herself and that kiss, that moment, but she was able to save Ellie and Joel for that moment. And even though Joel didn't get to say goodbye, like, what words do you say at that moment? But she made that ultimate sacrifice. She was already bit. It was already going to affect her anyway. She was already turning, so not, at that moment, but still it was going to happen. So it was really intense. But anyways, guys, I'm ready. Let's get into this episode. I'm ready to jump into it. Let's go.
Your jacket back?
Food.
More bugs than I thought.
Man, he's silent.
What are you looking out for?
People.
People.
Sometimes
Sometimes it's more dangerous.
Because you suck at shooting, or like in general? You know, seeing as it's just the two of us, I was thinking I should...
No.
You ever play this one?
Oh, come on, too awesome.
I knew everything about it. Is there anything bad in here?
Just you.
Just you again, that quote.
Yeah.
I don't like this. I don't like this. Oh, God. Ellie, Ellie, Ellie. You shouldn't be down there. I knew it. I knew it. Get out. Get out. Don't get closer to it. I think because she knows it's trapped, you know. What are you trying to figure out exactly? Okay. Letting out her anger. The anger she's been building up. Yep. On the road again.
You're flying one of those?
Whoa.
A few times, sure.
Dude, you got to go up in the sky. How did it even start? If you have to get bit,
We kind of saw that. Episode 2.
Then who bit the
A little
first
bit.
person?
Cordyceps mutated.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it got into the food supply. Probably a basic ingredient like flour or sugar. There's stuff up there you shouldn't see.
No,
Like what? No, I have to say it.
Told you were going to a QZ, and you were. If there was room.
If there was room.
Why not just leave him be?
Dead people can't be infected.
Point. But that's still messed up.
Not today, you new world order jackboot fucks.
Do you not know what's happening? My God. So many guns. Just everyone's just gone. Except for him. Filling up. Yep. Oh my God. Uh-oh.
Oh.
He's just living the dream right now. Oh, 4 years later. Okay, so we're still not up to date yet.
I'm just trying to get to Boston.
Are you hurt?
Besides falling.
Just a bruise.
Here's a ladder. Be safe.
I'm letting you go, so go.
All right. Look,
I want food though, please.
my name's Frank.
Oh yeah?
It's kind of crazy. Everything's kind of normal here. Fancy plate on top of a plate. I mean, that's got to be great to have an actual meal.
Take things in stride. Love's wounds unseen. That's what someone told me. I think I'm gonna love you.
Usually feeling it.
Who's the girl? Girl you're singing about.
There is no girl.
Oh, now they're arguing a couple.
Would you stop? Do I ask for things? I live in this world. You live in a psycho bunker where 9/11 was an inside job and the government are all Nazis.
The boutique.
Are we hosting formal garden parties now?
No.
There's no one there to do that to.
Right?
Oh, it's Tess. Oh, it's Tess and Joel. Okay.
I mean, I want to thank you.
It's flashback. It's before. That was 20 years after the thing, and this is like 7.
Frank! Frank!
He gets so angry.
We're actually decent people just trying to get by.
Oh. Well, aren't I the lucky one?
Prepper or something?
Yes, the Doomsday Prepper. Same thing.
Maybe you are decent people.
That fence has got a year on it. Tops. Galvanized wire already started to corrode. But sooner or later, there'll be raiders. They'll beat that fence and your tripwires.
Bill's alive in the present, in the game. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I think Frank dies. In fact, I don't think he actually exists in the game, so I'm thinking Frank dies. Oh, they're
I
growing.
traded Joel and Tess one of your guns for a packet of seeds.
I mean, fresh vegetation. That's like crazy. We'll grow tomatoes in the apocalypse. I mean, I get it. Hey,
No, it's not the strawberries.
yeah, drunks.
Right.
Oh shit. Yep, raiders. Yep. Came on too early. Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! I think he's already aware. Jesus, dude, just stay down. Yeah, watch yourself. What are you doing?
Bill! Bill's died!
I made a list for you.
Tell me about the list.
I have copies of all the keys.
He thinks he's gonna die.
No.
He's not gonna die. Wait. Wait, are they changing? Wait a minute. I figured, I was like, did they really just kill him off and change the story?
Did you take your pills? Oh, no.
Pills? Medicine? What happened? I'm guessing something must have happened. Yes. Yes, something had to happen. I don't know. They're not explaining what occurred.
Back in bed.
Promise you.
Back in bed.
Why?
Because this is my last day.
He must just know he's dying?
What?
I don't know.
Bill.
He's asking him to take him out. He's asking him to...
We'll get married.
Aww.
And you cook
Aw.
a delicious dinner. I can't.
Do you love me?
If you love him, you'll do it. If you're choosing it, I mean, it's different.
I mean, but could you imagine like going through a whole day though, like going?
Yeah. It might be the same wine I think they first served. Might be the same meal they first had. I don't know. The music stopped perfectly when he hits the wine down. And I'm betting Joel and Ellie will show up the next day after he dies.
I'm satisfied. And you were my purpose.
But from an objective point of view, it's incredibly romantic.
And those candles were burning too. All the wax melted and all that. You're supposed to stay still. She left. Where'd she go?
To whomever, but probably Joel. I figured I belong to whomever. If you find this, please do not come into the bedroom. We left the window open so the house wouldn't smell. We have a job to do. And God help any motherfuckers who stand in our way.
I like that. Keep Tess safe.
I have a brother out in Wyoming. He's in some kind of trouble, and I'm heading out there to find him. If I'm taking you with me, there's some rules you gotta follow.
Don't bring her up.
Rule 1, you don't bring up Tess, ever. You see that bite mark? They won't think it through, they'll just shoot you. Rule 3.
Holy shit.
That's the right response.
Dude,
No.
Can I have a gun, please?
I'm taking a shower. And then you're showering.
Saying you stink, boy. The red shirt. There's a gun in there. Yeah, that's the gun that he grabbed when the whole thing was going down. On the road again. He siphoned off a lot of gas when this first hit. Music.
Believe it? Do you know who Linda Ronstadt is?
No, I don't know who Linda Ronstadt.
No, I don't know who that is. Open window. I think it's safe to say it's a pretty damn emotional episode. Probably the most emotional episode besides the ending of episode 2. For a couple of reasons. Number one, they made a major shift in Bill's character in the game here in the show in terms of the fact that he had no interaction with Ellie whatsoever. And the fact that, and I'm trying to remember, because see, it's been a long time, it's been a number of years since I played The Last of Us. I don't remember there ever being a Frank. And from what I'm remembering in terms of the storyline, Bill, like, I think they were like in some sort of like walled off area or whatever where Bill was, but like it was not like this, how they kind of established this. Like, there was a lot of backstory. And like having with Joel and Ellie and everything, and of course she's like looking at like a crushed infected, and then she stabs it and everything, and letting out that frustration, of course, with her friend and everything, which we'll be seeing that at some point, the DLC, where she got originally bitten and everything, and how she's not infected or not turning. And that's there. Also, Joel is obviously throughout, you know, when he actually is in the episode, letting out some emotion, not wanting to bring up Tess, all that. But Bill was, he called, I think he's a survivalist or whatever, but he was a Doomsday Prepper. He was preparing for this moment, and it occurred. And I thought it was really dark, because I thought at first they were going to show like that, like little like ditch area full of like people and their luggage where they were just killed because they didn't have enough room when they were evacuating, and to go into these different places or whatever to protect them, they would just kill people because they didn't have the room. It's pretty brutal. And Joel said to Ellie, well, if you're dead, you can't get infected. That means there's less of them out there. It's still messed up. Point, still messed up. Because when it cut to that woman holding a baby, you see the skeleton and the clothes, and then it cuts to them, the clothes. Are they going to show them slaughtering these people? No. Because it's showing they were in the town, little community that Bill was in, and he was in this underground like area, like in a basement. They checked the house, couldn't find him, and obviously there's no way to a basement, because the way he has like constructed under like a false like chest or whatever, and that's how you get down in there. And then of course he's checking around. There's no one there. He has the I think he built that gate, or he added on to it or whatever, but it was already there. I guess that gated community or something, and very, very gated. And then he started like siphoning gas and shit, stealing things and everything, and he was waiting for this. He knew it was coming. And then all the trip stuff, and here comes the infected. So when Frank showed up, I'm thinking Frank is going to betray Bill. Because I'm trying to, like, I just don't remember this character at all. But the way they continue, I'm like, this is what they were doing. They were showing this man who was preparing for the end of the world, and it has now come. Years into it by himself, he comes across somebody who he doesn't trust. And I'm thinking at any point, Frank is going to betray Bill. Something's going to happen. Not the case at all. But I'm waiting for it. But it doesn't happen. Because I think that's the great thing about subverting my expectation in this sense. Because usually when you have these things to where you're just not really sure to trust somebody, and then they actually end up doing something bad, so you don't trust them. And like, oh, I figured it out. I was waiting for that moment. Didn't occur. So Bill helps him out, feeds him a meal. He's very gracious, and he starts playing piano. Bill then gets on to play piano, and then they come to an understanding. Who was the girl? And Bill's like, there was never a girl. There wasn't a girl. And then their relationship went to the next level immediately. Kissing, and then what happened in the bed, which I could not show at all, because that's YouTube, you know, can't show it. But that happened pretty quick. I think Bill was uncomfortable, but he's like, this is the first person I've come across in 4 years since everything, you know, went all to shit. And he started to, because when he started playing that song on piano, of course he stopped him. He's like, you know, and of course at the end when they're both going off to die together, instead of just having him die alone, Frank, Bill is allowing himself to be done as well. He's satisfied. They both had this, you know, number of years together. he's ready for it to be over too. And so then it jumps 3 years. And then Frank is obviously there. He obviously didn't leave. I was expecting more, because when he said there was like 10 people at first, when he was first, caught, I'm thinking there's more people or whatever coming or something, or like waiting for that betrayal moment that never happened. But I guess, I don't know how he got it by himself. They never explained that. They also were very non-specific about what disease he had, to where he was bound in a wheelchair. Maybe it's cancer. Maybe it's something like he mentions before everything happened. He mentions that there was no cure before then. So it just sounds like it was non-curable. I don't know what it could have been, because they really didn't say what it was. But I guess it wasn't important to the story to say specifically what it is, because it's the point of they've been spending so much time together, right? And I started to predict before the reveal of Bill also taking his life and being this his last day, that Joel and Ellie are going to show up the next day after Frank dies. He chooses his death. That's not the case at all. They show up sometime later because there is dust on the table, so some time had to pass, because dust doesn't build up within a day. It takes a little bit of time. So I'm thinking it might have been a couple weeks, maybe. They were non-specific. So we see Bill and Frank grow closer over the time throughout the episode. They spent a lot of time on their relationship, which was important for Bill's growth, because he was becoming more of I wouldn't say a friendly person, but he was opening up more because of Frank. And the fact is, we had that scene where Joel and Tess, I think it was, 4 years after everything happened is when Frank showed up. 3 years after that, so 7 years, is when Joel and Joel and Tess, and you can tell Joel doesn't have the gray in his hair. Tess looked younger in that sequence, in that scene. And so they were talking, they had, escaped out and everything. And it was an interesting little thing, so where we do get to see some interaction with them, but in a very different setting in terms of Bill and Joel. Very different than the game. And so Joel, I guess, just knew the code. He just knew the code, I guess, just for future reference. They really didn't say how many more times they went back. I'm assuming they did go back, because when they had the strawberries or whatever, it was like 3 years after that or something or whatever, he traded a small little gun for some seeds to plant strawberries. So there must have been more times they went back, some sort of trading off and everything, because they had rebuilt that fence up, because that fence wasn't going to last. The whole sequence with the Raiders, as Joel said that was going to happen, I was thinking that was going to be the time Frank was going to die, because I'm still thinking in my head, they're going to go the route of where Frank is no longer there when Joel and Ellie show up. It's just going to be now really bitter and upset and frustrated, angry, all those words. Bill, not the case at all. Like, Bill became happy with protecting the person he found and he wanted to be with. And it was a character changing moment for sure. This episode wasn't about the infected necessarily. This was about them trying to live and trying to be together, and the fact they got married on their last day and had this special moment, and then they both go out kind of in a romantic sense. And the fact that Bill kind of figured that Joel was gonna be the one to show up, because he even said, hey, everyone else probably would die by my traps, and he laughed in his message. That was a funny moment. And they got some stuff, and Joel and Ellie, of course, Ellie took the gun that Frank had pulled out from that little drawer area in the kitchen, or not the kitchen, in the dining room area, and hid it away. Of course, not supposed to have that. She's been asking every single episode, can I have a gun? No. When they're down in the basement, holy shit, he's like, oh, I'm thinking. He's like, no. He's like, there's a whole wall of them. I'm like, yeah, but a lot of these you probably couldn't carry. There's a sniper rifle, some shotguns. No. There's some pistols, but no. He doesn't trust her. So they get the truck, and they're going, and I like the final shot, too, of seeing the truck in the distance driving away. I also noticed he didn't shut the gate. I mean, at this point, there's probably no need to shut the gate. I mean, I guess he could have, just in case they have to go back for some reason, but they're going to Wyoming. They're just going away. So I guess there's no need. It's unfortunate, though, because there might be still stuff there that could be useful for Joel in the future if they ever have to go back for something or whoever, but give a point. But the shot of them driving away, and then the camera's pulling in, and you see it's the open window, because in the letter it says we left the open window so the house didn't smell, but do not go in the bedroom. And thankfully, Joel was about to, but then that's when the door shut and Ellie found the letter and everything and was starting to read it. So thankfully, Joel, because you're supposed to find the letter first, but of course, like, you know, who's going to notice? And the door was shut. He almost opened it, but he didn't. And I was wondering, are they going to show? They didn't show. They didn't need to show it. Their bodies there. But it was really, really emotional episode. It was more character driven, not so much action and all that. I'm assuming we'll pick that up, of course, in the next episode. But yeah, this is a very interesting new direction. And this is kind of what goes to show of the differences in the game and experiencing a certain way, because obviously with a video game and a television show, you have to find what are you going to adapt and keep, what are you going to change. And obviously with the game, there's certain things in terms of elements of gameplay and story, and in the show it's all story. Like there's no like sections where you get to play as the characters. Like you have to find a way to narratively go about that. And I feel like they did an interesting job of giving us Bill in a very different light than the game. A very different thing. So I can't wait for next week's episode. This was crazy. Crazy in a way that I wasn't expecting. So what you guys think of the episode? I'm curious to know your thoughts, guys. Whatever thoughts you have, please let me know in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I can't wait for next week's episode. Talk to you guys soon. Peace out.